area. One day when my ex was beating me, I looked at my daughter that was at the time 6 months old, and I decided that I could not have her live this life of watching a woman get beat and put down every day. That day was January 28, 2011. I went to Catholic Charities that day with no diapers, no formula, no nothing for me and my daughter, and I had no idea how to start. I had a car payment. I owed $10,000 on my car. I didn't know where I was going to get diapers. I didn't know how I was going to feed my daughter. I didn't know what we were going to do. Catholic Charities, I keep a note every day that they wrote for me in my pocket, in my wallet, that says, you need to get housing, food, and a job. I remember thinking, okay, and I'm going to take care of this 6-month-old baby, and somehow I'm going to do this. So then I started with Catholic Charities that way. I got enrolled into the Project Step Up with Carmen a few months later. It was the first time anybody asked me what my goal was and what I wanted to have a goal. So I told her my first goal was I'd like to afford diapers for my daughter. She said, okay, what's your 6-month goal? I said, I would like to pay $10,000 off on my car. She says, do you have a job? I said, yep, I just started at making $9 an hour. And she didn't judge me. She didn't look at me. She said, okay. And she says, well, what's your 1-year goal? And I said, I would like to buy a house. And I would like to buy a 3-bedroom house in a nice neighborhood with a big yard for my daughter. And she said, okay. I look back at that when I was thinking about that last night. If somebody was sitting in front of me going, how am I going to buy diapers for my daughter, and said this, and I would say, sure, yeah. But Carmen didn't. She did say that to me. So I went to the UW through Project Step Up. They taught me finances. They taught me how to keep a monthly budget. I picked up a second job. In 6 months, I paid $10,000 off my car, and I owned it debt-free. In a little over a year, I bought a house in the Riverview area, which has a big yard, 3 bedrooms, and 1 bath. And I'm thankful for that every day. I couldn't have done this personally without Carmen. The first few months I came in there, I don't think I would just cry. I would cry every time. I would cry. I don't know what I'm going to do. I have this daughter, and she's looking at me, and I don't know. And she would just listen. And I'd never been in this situation where I needed help. And I assumed that there would be out there and that people wouldn't judge me, but people did. They judged me that it was with the man that abused me. They judged me on how I could be a mother and not know where I was going to get diapers. And Catholic Charities didn't judge me. They looked at me like a person, and they never treated me different. And I guess that gave me hope. And when you're at the bottom and you don't have hope, if you don't have hope, you don't have anything, because you don't have a dream. And so I'm so thankful for them. Sometimes I would get aggravated because Carmen would make me keep track of every penny I kept for 6 months. And I remember going, oh gosh, really? But I did, and I would know. Sometimes people would say, well, how did you do it? And I said, well, I'll tell you. I spent, $62.70 on gas this week, and I spent, $33.04 on food, and this is how much I spent on electricity, and oh, how do you know that? And I would tell them, and I would try to explain, and people couldn't believe that I could keep track of every penny I spent. Because I think we all think, oh, we know where our money's going, but then when you actually really keep track of it, you go, oh, I did buy that soda that day, and so you kind of keep track. The one thing I want to say is that I feel that Project Step Up is the same for me. It's give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Teach a man a fish and you feed him for a lifetime. I will continue to pass this on spending and on how to, keep up my savings account and everything with my daughter. And I hope my daughter can pass that on to her family and, you know, and so forth. So for me, it's not something that I just graduated with and then I'll forget. It's something that I still do every day. I usually keep track of it weekly. I'll do a weekly budget, and then I'll keep track of that monthly. I know how much I'm going to spend this week on gas and so forth. I've been living in my house for about 6 months now. It was nice to go buy new furniture, and that I saved up for it. It was neat that I worked 2 jobs, and my family really helped me with my daughter. And there would be days where I'd work 23 hours that day and go back into work the next morning, and I would say, why am I doing this? And I just look at my daughter. And I always had Carmen there to, like, you know, you fall on bad days some days, and it was nice to have somebody there when I did fall to remind me of what I was doing. So I just want to say thank you to everybody, and I want to say thank you for Catholic Charities for having Project Step Up and for changing my life, and most importantly for changing my daughter's life. So thank you.